So you want to go to a Formula One race in 2025, but don't quite know where to start. I'm in the midst of planning my first of hopefully many F1 trips for 2025. So I thought, what a better way to share my tips and tricks that I have learned over the last few years of going to F1 races than to bring you guys along on the planning journey with me. Now, I have already done a little bit of the planning for this trip, so we are going to go back to the beginning and then catch up to where I currently am as far as my Grand Prix planning goes. And obviously, the first step of planning a Grand Prix weekend is picking the Grand Prix that you would like to go to. And there are several factors to consider when making this decision. And of course, Grand Prix are expensive, so cost can be a limiting factor, but there are still some Formula One races that are relatively affordable to attend. If you are in Europe, some of the most affordable races are Barcelona and Hungary. And if you are here in the States, the more affordable GA tickets are going to be at COTA or Miami. But if cost isn't necessarily a factor, some other things to consider are, is there a bucket list track that you want to go to? Is there a trip that you already have planned that you can tag a Grand Prix onto the beginning or the end of, which is what I did when I went to my first race in Barcelona? Or is there a country that you've been dying to see that you could tie into an F1 race weekend? Trip to Japan that I'm planning kind of fell into that third category. My dad and I were bouncing some different ideas out there. He threw out Australia, but I feel like I need to be able to commit like 3 weeks to going to Australia. So we kind of compromised with Japan, and that is a country that he has been wanting to revisit for a very long time and somewhere that I have never been. So we are going to be going to the Grand Prix and then spending a week touring Japan afterwards. But there also are going to be some really monumental type races in 2025 that would be very exciting to see. So, of course, we have Lewis's first home race in Ferrari, Lewis's first Italian Grand Prix in Ferrari, and then seeing if Charles Leclerc could potentially repeat his win in Monaco this year in 2025. And at least in the US, a lot of Formula One races line up with federal holidays. So if you want to maximize your PTO, that is another good way to pick an F1 race weekend. So there are races that are going to fall over Memorial Day. Silverstone is always close to the 4th of July. There are ways to make it work where you are going to be able to make the most of your F1 weekend while limiting the amount of days that you have to take off from work. And of course, once you've decided what your F1 destination is going to be, the next step is buying your tickets. So stay tuned for more on that.